Hey everyone, thanks for joining. This is Crypto Vatsik. If you enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to the channel. And nothing of what you're about to see is considered financial advice. These are always my opinions only. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's just quickly, we've got a chart that I shared last night before going to bed on TradingView, and I had drawn this simple channel out on Bitcoin, and I was noticing before going to bed that we were just starting to lose this mid-range. I really wanted to see the mid-range here to continue the bullish structure, but we started to fail, break below that, and my target was down around 21.3, and I just thought it would have taken a little bit more time to play out, but it ended up basically shooting right down overnight. I woke up in the morning and came right back down to my target, and many people are seeing this possibly as a bearish flag, this overall channel as being just one giant bearish flag. And I don't think I agree with that just because it's been taken so long to play out. Whereas flags tend to be quicker and aggressive, whereas this is really just ranging inside over higher time frame and could still end up playing either direction, in my opinion. So anyways, this is what we're seeing now. We've come down to my target here. So basically the bottom band of the channel has almost been reached, and what I'd be looking for if you're looking to long this to, essentially in theory, if you're going to be targeting the mid range again or the higher upper band, then I'd really be wanting to see something like this where you get kind of this bottom formation, something like this, where you get a bottom and then you get a strong move back to the upside and then a good strong retest. And the reason is because if you entered on the first bottom here on this red candle, then you would have gotten stopped out on this wick. So if you said, oh, okay, I'm going to go in and just enter when we touch basically the bottom of the band, you might get your stop loss, just below it, and you might get wicked out, sort of thing. So I'd really want to see where you get this basically this retest wick here, where you clearly have a bottom and then you come back up, you've broken the market structure, and then you get a retest right here. So basically, you want to be getting in right there on that retest, and then you'd be setting your stop loss below the wick, sort of thing. So that's what I'd be looking for. You get that multiple times when you get this sort of bottom, and you get that one last chance on the bullish retest to come to make it long. So that's what I'd be looking for if you're interested in trading this. I don't think I'm going to at the moment, but that's how I would play it. And otherwise, of course, if we broke down below, I'd be looking to short on a bearish retest here in this area, right? So that's kind of it for Bitcoin right now. Just keeping it simple, not overcomplicating it. I got some trash talk for this last night on TradingView. Somebody said that this was crazy, and it's basically just said that I was an idiot. And yeah, no, it's I woke up this morning and reminded him of the target that was hit. So had some fun there. But anyways, always be respectful. I know it's a tough time in these markets, and people get emotional and frustrated and upset, right? So it's typical. This is what we see in bear markets. So just always be kind to each other, be respectful. Okay, Ethereum, I shared this one too. I was looking to long in this area around 1780, and when I woke up, we smashed right through it. So I'm not going to make this trade at this point. I think it's good to be flexible. I did expect it drop down. I didn't think we'd come this far this quickly, but I would have liked to have seen a nicer reaction off this area of this SR area of these highs, and we didn't see that. This big red candle came right down below. We still technically have not made a lower low. So if you like trend lines, you could have had some sort of trend line going and said, oh, okay, we've broken the trend line. It's time to sell. And no matter how you drew it, right, you could have drawn them many different ways and off maybe these lows and said, oh, okay, we broke the trend line. So on a shorter time frame, yeah, this would have been a signal to cut your position or to go short potentially, right? So that's fair. But at this point, I think that on a higher time frame, we still technically have not made a lower low. Okay, so we had a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. This is just basically back down and it's flat. And this could essentially flat line here, right? And you would have said, oh, well, it's broken the trend line. It's broken the trend line. So, we're going to continue to come down. But, you could say that about many different trend lines, right? You could say that about something bullish consolidation, right? Before going up, you could say, oh, well, here, we had this trend line, oh, look, it broke the trend line, it has a bearish retest, time to get out, when really it's just going to flatline for a bit, have some sort of bullish consolidation before heading up, potentially, right? So keep that in mind. We still haven't made a lower low. Once we make a lower low compared to these, this last higher low here, if we make a lower low, then yeah, we start talking about coming back down to this target where I think we will end up eventually in this area once we're due for the significant correction. But I did think that there is some juice left in Ethereum to take this up, just considering how strong it's been performing. But for now, we'll have to wait to see how this plays out. And the reason why I say we could flatline and just keep bouncing in this area is because we've got this bullish order block here that I've drawn out on this other chart here. So basically this area is an area of significance. It was our clear bottom earlier. And unless you think this is a deviation above, which I think this is quite strong of a move, I don't know if this is quite deviation in my opinion, but I would expect us to at least bounce on here for some time, ranging before we either break up or break down, right? So I think that in the next coming days, it'll be a good sign for that. And you can just take this order block over to previous history on the chart and see that this is a clearly significant area of interest, right? This was our bottom back here in June 2021. And, so technically we had an SR flip here and now should be ranging in here as support at this point. So just another perspective, another way of looking at it, in my opinion. Here's Gala. This is another chart that I had shared recently with a couple of different scenarios. I was leaning towards the red scenario, given the fact that we had this bearish retest of this bearish order block up here, 2 wicks up, candle closes below it, and then rejection. So I was leaning red, which I had here first, and I had my stop loss set here as my target for stop loss, and then obviously my short target. If I was wrong, I wasn't sure, obviously you're never 100% sure of the direction. If I was wrong, this is my long scenario. So stop loss below this SR here, and then target up here at the previous mid range. But what ended up happening is we got basically the support order block down here got retested. Nice little wick reaction right now off of it, and short target completely reached, right? So this is what I was looking for. We made a new lower low, right? So you saw these higher lows, higher lows, higher low, and then we made it lower low, lower low, and so obviously just smashed right through it. It's a very weak market across the board, and it happened a lot quicker. Again, happened quicker than I expected, right? So definitely rejection for now, but would have been a nice 16% trade if you had shorted that. But for now, if you had longed this bullish order block down here, that's at support here, that would have been a nice trade. I would have taken it myself. I didn't. I missed it, but I would expect us to range in this area for a little bit. I don't think we're going to smash right through this support, but I don't think we're also going to smash right through resistance. So I think time will tell here where we're headed in the longer term. But I think for now this could have been a long term, or could have been a good long play. But again, just kind of ranging in here is my expectation for the short term. Fantom, this is a trade that I shared live on YouTube when I took it. I had entered down here. My stop loss was below this invalidation point previously, but when I saw that I was in profit, I moved my stop loss to break even. We got my first target at TP1 here, and then we got a hammer swing failure pattern, obviously rejection, another hammer down, and my invalidation stayed the same. I said, you know what, it's fine. I'm happy with this trade. If I get stopped out at break even, I still took my profit at TP1, and if I get invalidated, that's fine. And so that's exactly what happened. It's very, very weak here, very bearish, coming back down, retesting this liquidity, this bottom, or this previous low here at around 30 cents. And yeah, so I got stopped out. My position has been cut. But all my targets for this one were above, right? My target where it was above, it was a bullish pattern. We had this nice trend line that it was following, which obviously got broken with the bearish retest. And, my targets were up above. And if I was wrong, then that's fine. I wasn't targeting anywhere down here, and I was invalidated, which I'm fine with. Again, it's okay to be wrong as long as you take some profit. In the meantime, always take your profits, right? Have those targets. But for now, we've broken the trend, broke the SR level, broke my invalidation, lost support, and so this trade is now invalidated. It's over, right? So you have to come back and reevaluate this if you're going to look to go long, or if we're going to come back down and test these lows here, the macro lows. So to each their own, but I haven't recharted this yet. I'll probably do that in the next coming day or few days. All right, now coming back to longer term ideas. So when we had this range here, you could have also noticed potentially this right here against RSI really just went right nicely along with this range, higher high, higher high, higher high, but wicks above, right? So move was weakening, and then you saw this bearish divergence on RSI, right? So we had a high, lower high, lower high. So shorter term, you could have played that as well as a bearish divergence on RSI. However, long term, okay, if I had to guess what Bitcoin was going to do long term, okay, my guess would be that we essentially range within this area for some time, and without Bitcoin giving us a clear bottom, but also not giving us clear new lows. Okay, so I'd expect us to range in this area. I think it'd be tough for this. This is an ugly candle right now, but I think it'd be very tough for this candle to just straight push down and continuation like that. I think that what's more likely to see is that we would come and potentially test these lows again, right? So we could come back down and test these lows, but I'd expect another reaction and potentially just some sort of ranging within this area over the next few weeks to a month, and it could be our area of accumulation, right? Or we could end up making new lows. But I think for now that this is just essentially going to be our area that we're going to hang out in for a bit. I would not be looking to long at this point right now. I wouldn't be looking to short either. We're right in the middle of this range. We could easily just dance around here and just chop people up for some time. So that's just my opinion. I'm not looking to play it right now, but I think that being patient, just keeping it simple, we could be close to the bottom or we could make a new bottom, right? So it's good to be flexible. Okay, traders don't know what's going to happen. We need to stay flexible and see what the chart's telling us. But for now, this is if I had to guess what my expectation would be for Bitcoin. Now for Ethereum, Ethereum's had a strong move and it's been outperforming Bitcoin. But as I said, with my trade, if I was going to go long, we haven't made that significant lower low yet, right? So if it has more juice left in the tank, yes, I could see us potentially coming up here, testing these previous highs here, and coming up to this 200-day moving average as resistance, potentially if there's juice left in the tank with the trade that I showed earlier. But I do expect us to come back down to this low or near these lows again at some point in the future. Just given ETH BTC how strong it's been performing, it could have juice left in the tank or it could fail out here, right? But I do think either way we are coming back down to this area at some point in the future, and it's due for that correction. But given the strength of Ethereum, I do see it continuing to shine versus Bitcoin, but ultimately depends what it's going to do in the next few days here. And this is what I mean by that. If in the next few days we can hold this area as support, if we can hold and bounce it, get back above it and hold above it, then I will stick to my plan here. This is my target. But if we lose this area, we make a new low, we break market structure, and we have a bearish retest, backtest of this zone, then I think we're heading lower, and potentially new lows will be made because that will have a weak impact on the altcoin market, absolutely. Plus with Bitcoin ranging, we'll have to see what happens with it, right? But as I always say, stay frosty, use your stop losses, have invalidations, protect your capital, and have conviction, okay? With that said, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Hopefully this video was helpful. Really appreciate it if you did like and subscribe to the channel, and you can follow me on Twitter as well at CryptoVatsik for more frequent updates. All right, thanks everyone. See you in the next one.